Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on this episode of Stuttering in Silence. My name is Gavin Soden, and I'm joined by
Matthew Lepore.
Hey Matt, what are we going to be talking about today?
Sports, Gavin.
What kind of sports?
All the sports, my friend.
All sports? Perfect. Well, hey, it sounds fun. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we're going to enjoy it. And without further ado, let's jump on into it.
Gavin, we are live. And another week of great NFL sports. I don't think really anything else happened, with the NBA kind of happening, things like that. MLB's kind of pretty much coming to a complete close, especially after the World Series and things like that. I know there were some trades and things that were happening last week that you were kind of going over.
Yeah.
But, week 13 of the NFL. Some pretty cool things that were kind of happening.
Yeah, man.
Anything that you really thought that was outstanding that was oh man, maybe
Yeah, the Eagles beat the juggernaut powerhouse team of the New York Jets. It's top 5 team in the NFL.
Top 5 team in the NFL.
Top 2 team, honestly.
I don't think that's true.
We beat the Jets. We played with Gardner Minshew yesterday, because Jalen Hurts was out with an ankle injury.
Okay.
Now we have our bye week this coming week, this next week. So hopefully Hurts will be good enough to play the following week.
No, Hurts is hurt.
I'm a little skeptical because Nick Sirianni says he was not sure if Jalen was going to play after the bye. So I don't know how serious the ankle injury is.
Everyone's just getting messed up with their ankles.
Miles Sanders at the end of the game went out with an ankle injury.
Saquon Barkley's still fighting that whole thing with his.
Yeah, I don't think Miles Sanders is bad though. I think it was
just sprained it.
I don't even think he sprained it. I think he just twisted it and they probably because at that point it was 5 minutes left to go in the game. They were up by 20 or 13 points. They were it's whatever. Because then by the time we got the ball back, we held the ball for the next 4 minutes. So
that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't make sense. Anyway, but no. So I don't know. I think the biggest concern for me with the Eagles right now is Jalen Reagor. Dude is not playing well, at all in any way. Over the course of the last few weeks, especially. I don't know what's going on with him. He's muffing punts. He's dropping wide open passes. Stop using your computer.
Oh, it's messing up the right here.
Anyways, are you fucking retarded?
A little bit.
No, extremely.
They're all shaking their heads.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Jalen Reagor is kind of he's shitting the bed pretty hard. So, but hey, we could have had Justin Jefferson. So could have been better.
I don't think so.
We traded up for Jalen Reagor.
We did. Yeah.
To give away Justin Jefferson.
What do you think we're going to be looking for, especially towards the end of the season when it starts coming to drafts? I
mean, you never have any idea because Howie Roseman's always so what sucks about this draft class is it's a quarterback heavy draft class.
Yeah.
But there's no real super electric talent coming up that's going to be elected for the draft.
Now, are they looking for anybody in the next coming years? I know the next kind of class coming up, especially as freshmen or getting redshirt freshmen, they're definitely looking for some. I know there were some running backs who were really prized for. I know there were a couple of wide receivers and even some linemen that were kind of coming up as centers and guards. So I don't know if that's going to change at all or what they're looking for.
Well,
I'm not just saying the Eagles. I'm just saying across the board.
I mean. The thing about it is when you look at all the fundamentally sound teams in the NFL, they always start with a good offensive or defensive line.
Yeah.
So right now the Eagles have top 10 defensive line in the NFL.
Yeah.
But if you look at the top teams, they usually have a solid offensive line. The Dallas Cowboys are famous for the last 25 years having a super good offensive line every single year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you build around that. For the Eagles, we have a good offensive line. The problem is no one can stay healthy. So we have guys like Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson.
Oh yeah,
right. Who are playing every single snap of every single game,
injured or
banged up or whatever. And then you got new guys that we're hopeful for, Nate or Jordan Mailata, right? We got Nate Herbig still in there.
I thought he was only in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got him out of New Zealand or something for rugby.
Oh, dude, you ever seen one of those games?
Mm-hmm.
Them Johns get
You ever see his highlights in rugby?
No.
Dude's ridiculous.
Really?
So he's like 6'8", or 6 something like that, like 6'8" or 6'9", like 400 pounds almost. Dude's an animal. But yeah, it's basically like half Thor running at you.
That's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. What was his 40?
I have no idea.
Dude, he had to be moving.
Well, he pancakes everybody now. Like if you watch his game, like his highlights, every single time the ball is snapped, he's like, there's no one moving. Actually, I think he just won an award, or there's a stat where in the last 7 weeks he hasn't allowed a quarterback sack or is even as much as a quarterback hit in the last 7 weeks.
Jeez.
So
good for him. I mean, that definitely does help us like in the long run. I mean, the more time we're giving our quarterbacks to like make plays or kind of like at least to run the ball, which is always good to see the Eagles do, is definitely going to be beneficial to us.
Yeah, I think the Eagles just have a lot of different moving parts that we put into, like, you watch the game and you have like Jalen Reagor returning a punt. And the last like 3 times he tried to return a punt, he muffed it or he bobbled it or whatever. And like, yeah, the dude's good. He's athletic. He's fast. He's speed. he can burst into like to go into that second like level of speed and get away from everybody. But he's just making more mistakes and he's hurting us more than he's helping us. So I would rather see like a Kenneth Gainwell as a punt returner.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, Gainwell is solid for a rookie.
I'm not saying he's not solid at all. I would never would have thought of having him as a punt returner.
Yeah, he's
interesting.
He's solid as hell.
Now, like, do you think that they're thinking the same thing as you? Do you think they would give him like a chance to like ride it out, or maybe give him like a couple snaps in like that regard?
I have no idea. I mean, if Jalen Reagor keeps just shitting the bed, then they're probably gonna have to move him away from that.
I didn't think he was bad in week 9.
Well, I mean, the thing about him is like, yeah, he'll may have like a game where he's really good.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of the season's like mediocre, and like that's also into kind of part with Jalen Hurts too, because Jalen Hurts, like last week, I don't know what he was doing, but he just could not understand the fact that he had more than one wide receiver on the field at any time. So, instead of taking the check down or hitting a wide open Dallas Goedert or a wide open Devontae Smith, he was trying to force it to Reagor. And so it was like all game. You know what I mean? Double coverage, bad throws, but drop passes, and it was a bad week. This week, Jalen Hurts is out. Gardner Minshew he doesn't really have the same kind of like speed as Hurts.
Hurts fast,
but
like, scrambles in the pocket a lot. Well, to be fair, he also smells a little bit of pressure, and then he's back.
But he balled out yesterday.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying,
like, there was definitely a couple passes that he could have made better. Like there was a couple, like the second Dallas Goedert pass should have been like in stride. There's a big throw to like Gainwell or to Quez Watkins or something. Like I forget who it was exactly, but should have been in stride. He had to come back like 10 yards to catch the ball, but he was that wide open that he could and still got the first down. I don't know. I think he played amazing though. He just understood that like you don't have to hold the ball.
Well, I think he's also starting to build a base with the team as well.
Yeah,
because he's only been in there for a couple years.
Who?
Well, I was talking about Jalen Hurts, but
this is his second season.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I think he's just. I think like last season, everybody was up in arms because it was like, well, is Wentz going to be our starter or our quarterback? Is Hurts going to be our quarterback? Why don't we have Hurts? Yada yada. And then when Wentz was shitting the bed and just playing awful, we brought in Hurts and he beats the Saints.
Yep.
Plays well against the Packers.
Yep.
Plays well. Makes some mistakes, but he's a rookie. Second year coming into the league, he's now named the starter. With a rebuilding franchise, brand new wide receiver core, new running back depth. It's hard to step into that role and be a great team all of a sudden. Brand new coach, new coaching staff across the board,
and a whole fan base expecting you just to be like the new hot.
Yeah, new fan base. A fan base is basically just being like, oh yeah, you're just going to be good now.
Well, that's the whole thing, especially when Foles pieced out something with Wentz. They're like, okay, you're it.
Yeah,
you're going to be the quarterback. Let's see something new. And I do think the problem does come is like, okay, well, all right, his first year, his second year.
Yeah,
people are expecting a lot out of him, and I think you can kind of see that a little bit where everyone's like, all right, well, you're the quarterback.
Yeah.
Make shit happen. Why are we not getting in the playoffs? Why are we losing to the Giants of all people? Why are we getting crushed, whatever it is? And it's like, he's only been there for 2 years.
Well, yeah.
I think people need to give him a little more credit. Same thing with Wentz. I think people needed to give him a lot more credit too, which I know you will die on that hill.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The whole Wentz thing, to bring that back from 7 weeks ago, is just Wentz did everything that he could to be a good starting quarterback for us.
I would agree.
And he regressed. He had a really good season in 2017. Had a couple of injuries. Came back. It wasn't the same. It wasn't good. 2009. But then you also got to look at it as the team wasn't good.
Yeah.
Right. So we didn't
no weapons.
We had our only weapon on the field was Miles Sanders and Dallas Goedert or Zach Ertz.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? Those were our safety guys. That's why.
And he's not even there anymore.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing is Carson Wentz did regress from 2017. But then we couldn't. We got rid of Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, Darren Sproles retired. We got Brent Selleck retired. We got rid of Ajay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah.
We got rid of then our wide receiver core was J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Alshon Jeffrey up until 2019. We drafted Jalen Reagor, and that. Who else? Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. Quez Watkins was a rookie, or is a rookie. We had nobody. So who is Wentz going to throw the ball to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you look at games where we should have won a couple years ago. 2 years ago, boom, we should have beat the Lions. But J.J. Arcega-Whiteside drops a wide open pass. Oh, we had Nelson Aguilar. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Nelson Aguilar against the Falcons and against in the same season, same year against the Falcons and the Saints. Drops 2 game-winning touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was rough to have in the team.
And that was in 2019.
Didn't he ball out after he left us, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But then Wentz still takes that team, right?
Yeah.
We still make the playoffs.
Yep.
And then everyone was like, "Oh, well, Wentz can't even stay healthy to play the Seahawks." But he got hit from behind by Michael Bennett, falling. He was on the ground. Michael Bennett, helmet to helmet, back of his head, gives him a concussion. He's out for the game. Now we have to rely on a 42-year-old Josh McCown. You know what I mean?
Wait, was he the one that got called in from? Oh my gosh, he called him from not the scout team, the practice team, right?
Who?
Josh McCown?
No, he's been in the league for a long time. He was on pretty much every team, and we got him out of free agency, sent him to a 1-year contract, and he was our backup because we didn't have a backup because we got rid of Foles.
Yes, yeah.
So Michael Bennett hurts Wentz. We have to put in Josh McCown, and he does everything he can for what he did everything he could do. We just didn't have the firepower to really beat the Seahawks. That's also a Seahawks with a year 1 DK Metcalf, on fire, Tyler Lockett, Shane Vereen. These guys they're really good. Russell Wilson. They were a pretty good team. And then everyone blamed Wentz. So then 2020 comes around, rolls around, and it's like, all right, Wentz, you got to stay healthy. You got to do what you got to do. And then the whole season just falls apart.
Oh,
we had everyone's injured. Everyone top to bottom got injured at some point. Nobody played well. Nobody meshed well. The line wasn't blocking. Jason Peters couldn't block to save his life. Every other day he was hurt. People were getting hurt in practice. It was just a bad season. And it showed. We were awful. But the good news is Jalen Hurts played well in his games. We somehow beat the Saints. We somehow play really, really good against the top 5 or the top 5 team, Green Bay Packers, or top 10 team at that point. He showed improvements. He played decent against the Cowboys. He played decent against he was just playing well. And then everyone kind of expected, with a new head coach, basically a brand new wide receiver core.
Oh, pretty much all.
A lot of rookies and a lot of pivotal spots. You have think
Very
about
young
it.
team.
Your wide receiver 1 and 2 are a rookie and a second-year wide receiver. You have a third-year running back, and then two rookie, and then the third year, and then a rookie behind him. Okay.
And then just Jalen Hurts also being like 2 years into the league as well.
You have Jalen Hurts, a year and a half into the league.
Yeah.
Behind your second, you have Jordan Mailata, who's a second or third year. Obviously, Kelsey and Jalen Johnson are tenured. But then you got, behind these guys like Nate Herbig, Lane Dickerson, like these guys, like they're rookies, second years, fourth years, whatever. So they're young. It's a young group of guys. We have we have literally a top 2 cornerback in the NFL in Darius Slay. He leads the league in touchdowns for cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Dude's a fucking tank. Our defensive line is good as long as Derek Barnett doesn't keep giving us random ass penalties for hitting the quarterback or anything.
See, that right there is just stupid. I feel like these guys are running so fast because if you look, like 8-9 years ago, that wasn't a thing.
No. Well, did you see
because that bothers me so much.
Was it LSU or Pittsburgh in college football? The quarterback sprints up the middle of he splits right down the middle of the field, and he goes to slide. So then they stop running, and then he just fakes a slide and sprints into the end zone. So then there's a whole controversy of you're not allowed to do that. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. If the defense has to give the quarterback away to when he slides, he gives himself up, you can't hit him. Then there is no reason why when he starts that motion like he's going to slide, why that would be allowed for him to be able to not slide and run.
Because they would have hit him.
Because if they would have hit him, it would have been rough. It would have been a penalty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's you can't. It's like a loophole, basically.
Smart.
It is smart, but at the same time, it's
you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, I didn't even know that. See, that's what bothers me. Because it's people have to remember too. Is I understand there's a lot of money in a quarterback. I understand you need to have a season and for everything to be fair to have a good quarterback healthy. I get that. I get the whole aspect.
Yeah.
But these guys, take Cox for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude's a fucking tank.
Yeah.
He's running at you, dude.
It's hard to slow down.
It's hard to slow down, especially if he's beating the center or whoever it is off coming around the end.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm sorry. He comes through, he cuts through, gets a great defensive move, just getting to the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you let that ball go. Great. That split second, you're not getting a 200-some-pound man to just stop moving.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they're going to throw a penalty. It's all right, bro.
Yeah. Well, the referees had I believe they had a sit-down meeting with the commissioner, and basically Goodell was the penalties have to slow down because they noticed with all the penalties on their streaming services and on through cable and stuff, the NFL's viewer rate dropped by 30% because of all the penalties.
Well, and then fucking annoying. It's football.
Yeah. That's
the problem. And it's okay, this is where rugby has a good argument. They're you guys have pads, we hit, and they don't have half the penalties that the NFL has, right? And okay, I get, there's a lot of penalties because there's money into it, or whatever it is, whatever you want to say. I get that. My thing is that's where the argument of where rugby's it's so much tougher. We don't have this penalty. We rock people, and I'm I kind of see what you're talking about because you know what I'm saying?
The NFL is a very slow game. If everyone's it's so fast, everything's moving so fast.
It's cap.
Well, when you think about it, you have 4 15-minute quarters.
Yeah.
Right? But through each change of possession, you have a 6-minute break for commercial break, right? For them to get the ball set up, for them to get the chain set up, that flip the field, whatever it is. And then each quarter, you have a commercial break. So you have then you have a halftime, which is 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. So then you do the halftime, you come back, and then again and again and again. So realistically, you're only playing 2 to 6, 7 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
In that range. And then you have timeouts. All of those breaks were without either team calling a timeout.
Yeah, and then you have to add.
You have the 2-minute warnings in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. You have penalty. You stop the clock if there's penalties. You stop the clock if there's injuries. You stop the clock if they run out of bounds. Incomplete pass. The clock stops. So you think about it, and it's
it's a lot of stoppage.
It's a lot of stopping the game for not a lot. You know what I mean?
And I think that's what really frustrates people. It's okay. you know, you have so much time. You want to catch this game. Okay,
Yeah.
Lions are playing. The Patriots, whoever's playing.
Yeah.
You're there for a good amount of time.
3 hours, 4
And
hours.
sometimes you sit there and you feel like you're not, because like, okay, prime example, we're sitting there watching the game outside, right? And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like on my phone, I'm like, damn, bro, I've been like on like Instagram for a hot minute and the game just started. Or they'll run like 4 downs, right? Eagles go 3 and out, right? Shouldn't be surprised. And then I'm like, okay, they go 3 and out, run it back. They come through, make it to like the 30-yard line, whatever it is, and then boom, commercial. And I feel that's all I'm seeing. Or they get a penalty, roughing the passer, pass interference, holding, whatever it is. Now we're like, okay, they discuss it, holding.
You know what's funny too is like when you're watching a game on TV and you go to commercial break, I always used to think like it was for a reason, bro. I remember I went to like a couple Eagles games and I'm standing there watching, and when they go to commercial, because it, like, let's say like the Eagles will get the ball, like they if they return a punt for like 10 yards and they get the ball back, right?
Yeah.
They'll just be on the sideline in like a huddle, like a half huddle, half just standing there with their hands on their hips and doing nothing. Like half going over the game plan, half.
I've never been to an Eagles game.
Yeah,
I've
so
never
like
been to a
literally,
football
like
game,
they'll
so.
get the ball and then the ref will come out and they'll be like, "Boo-doo-doo," and then you know it's going to commercial, like on TV. So you're sitting there in the stands, and then you see, like, I remember I was watching Wentz and he just has his helmet up and he's just standing there like this, like looking up at the shit on the jumbotron, and I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? And then you see the ref come running out, and he's like, and then they come out, and then they get into the huddle, and oh, dude, I was like, what the fuck?
So people like you who go to see the game,
Yeah,
not only is it slower to watch it on TV,
it's slow for no reason.
it's slower at a game for no reason. You're watching it. Cool.
Yeah. Now sometimes commercials do run long. Like sometimes they'll run an extra commercial or whatever, but then like you'll jump back to the game and they're like just snapping the ball. But yeah, no, it's for no real reason. But yeah. So kind of get into the rest of the league. The rest of the games went pretty smoothly. You know, really wasn't too many upsets. The Patriots are now the number 1 seed in the AFC.
So you were saying, yeah.
You know, the Chiefs or the Patriots won like 7 straight,
Yeah.
8 straight,
Or
something like that.
Yeah.
The Patriots are looking like a top 5 team in the NFL right now. They look good. They look good.
Good job, Belichick. Proud of you.
Mac Jones is balling out as a rookie.
Mac Jones, yeah.
I would say he's definitely the best rookie out of that class by far.
Yeah.
I would say he's probably the best rookie to come out of the draft in the last like 2 or 3 years.
You saying Trevor Lawrence is not the best quarterback?
Dude,
out?
it's not even like a Joe Burrow in Cincinnati last year kind of a thing, where like Joe Burrow is balling out, but the team is bad, so they can't win games.
Yeah.
It's like Trevor Lawrence will have like a good drive, and then his next 3 drives he shits the bed, and then he'll have a good drive and then shits the bed, and I'm like, this doesn't look like the number 1 draft pick coming out of the draft.
No.
It just doesn't. He doesn't have that like swagger about him. He doesn't have the skill really. At least he doesn't have it yet.
I mean, that could just be with the team that he's on too. I know like there's that argument for him where he's like, all right, he's in the Jags. Like he has that whole kind of like aspect to him. But I mean, who knows? I mean, next year they'll get some weapons.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do stuff with it.
I'd give him 5 years. If he's not good within 5 years, he's not going to be good.
No,
I mean, look at somebody like a Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's balling out for the past 2 years. Balling out. Put up fucking like 45 points against the Saints on Monday Night Football last year in his rookie season against the top 10 Saints defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that, honestly.
You got guys like Joe Burrow, like I already mentioned. You got guys like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jared Allen. Like these guys coming out of the draft were good. Now, of course, Baker Mayfield, in his case, he got drafted to a team where it was bad, it was rebuilding, and it didn't have a coaching staff, really. So he came in, learned a lot of bad habits, to learn to not take responsibility and accountability because the team was bad. But then they started adding pieces back to the team, like they got Jarvis Landry.
So he was like, "Oh, it's not my fault. It's still this aspect." But
Yeah,
like,
they got Odell Beckham Jr., Austin Hooper.
See, I feel all right. I don't know if this is like a hot topic, but I feel like he was so overrated.
Who?
Odell.
Odell's very overrated.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that wasn't an impressive catch, but I think
Odell made one really, really good catch, and then threw him into superstardom, and And then if you look at the rest of his career,
you heard me. He's
was
overrated, Kevin.
Yeah, extremely overrated.
He is.
Now I'll tell you why he's overrated, because he was on the Giants with a aging Eli Manning, and his only other competition on that team was Victor Cruz. Now Victor Cruz for a couple seasons was really, really good, like 2012 to 2014, like 14, he was good. The other parts of his career were not so good. Odell Beckham Jr. in his rookie season makes an incredible catch, and then he doesn't ever really, what did he accomplish? What did he bring to his team? Yeah, he was the best fucking wide receiver on the team, but he didn't lead the league in receptions, I don't believe. Didn't lead the league in yards per in yards, like receiving yards, not touchdowns. His team was bad almost every single year. Couldn't make it deep into the playoffs. And then what? He's just supposed to be. He's getting into fights with fucking kicking nets. He's getting into fights with. He's getting into fights with cornerbacks like Josh Norman because they're locking him up and he can't catch the ball because he's being locked the fuck up. So he's getting pissed about it. Then he has to apologize to the Giants fans, but then does it again. Gets fined every game for something. Then finally the Giants are like, we don't have enough money to pay you. We don't want to pay you. We're trading you. He gets traded to Cleveland. Has a decent season, gets hurt, comes back, and then all of a sudden, because Baker, he's been with the team for a year. Baker Mayfield doesn't really want to throw him the ball, or they can't really figure out, they don't have a good chemistry or whatever the case is. You're telling me that's super crazy? Is that super crazy? Is that like a wild thought that you get traded to a team that you only play with for a handful of games, you come back the next season and things aren't lining up? But then you
don't have enough time to have any kind of chemistry.
Exactly.
And if people expect things like that, just to like
exactly give me the ball. I'm Odell Beckham. Give me the ball. And then and then they're like, fuck you. So he gets traded, and now where did he go? Or did he just get released?
I think he just got released.
Like he's not even
because
he's on the Rams. That's where he is.
When did that happen?
A couple weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, I didn't follow that. Well, because my problem is he had that whole problem, right? Gets traded out, and I remember when he was having issue with Mayfield, right? Because it was all over Twitter. It was like, I didn't get the ball, and he was putting like highlights of him being open, and then at Baker Mayfield, what is this? So you're just watching him just talk shit, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna say that you weren't open, but here's the problem. When you're a douchebag, okay, and you think you're better than you are, and then you don't get the ball, so you put someone on blast for millions of followers, I feel like that's not going to help your case.
It's not going to help your case at all. And then furthermore, he was open on that play, but when you have plays specifically designed to give him the ball, like a PA bootleg, like to the right or left side, and he's supposed to be that wide receiver number one in the slot or whatever, like that's where they want to go with the football, he's not open. You know what I'm saying? So then it was a whole dichotomy of just things going back and forth and back and forth. Now he's in the Rams. He's on the top 3 team in the NFL right now. Although the Rams haven't won a game this is their first win in a couple weeks. I think in like 3 weeks. But the Rams are still going to go to the playoffs. The Rams are still going to be good.
Yeah.
Odell, I feel like if Odell plays to his potential and he plays well, he helps the team. But if Odell plays like he's played the last few years, he hurts the team.
I just feel like it's like you have such potential, right?
Yeah.
Just stop talking.
Like, he's not going to stop talking because that's what makes him all his money.
I understand, but at some point it's like, okay, you and me, we're sitting here. It's so easy to look through, right? And I feel like, isn't there some aspect of like respect you want to have to the game, respect to your person, respect to your like honor? See,
it's not how you get paid.
I understand.
I mean, think about it. If he doesn't make that catch, probably still on the Giants. He's. I tell you right now, he's not on the fucking Rams. I tell you right now, he doesn't have sponsorships with Nike. He's not going to have fucking. He very well might still be in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All it takes is one good play, huh?
He's been in the league for
it
what,
was a
8
sick
years
catch
now?
though.
Yeah.
7
or 8 years.
Yeah.
So he's been in the league for a good amount of time to where he can be considered a veteran. He hasn't shown me anything that's really pop. Like, yeah, he's a good wide receiver. I would like to have him on my team, but honestly, I don't even know if I'd like to have him on my team because like
I love to have him on my team, but I don't know. If I would
because
have
like
him.
you think about it,
I know what you're saying.
I would like to
Yeah.
have Odell on my team, but then it's like, but then he's going to cause locker room problems. Most likely, he's going to bitch,
especially
and
in Philly, dude.
Yeah.
The second you cross a Philly fan, bro, that's it. That's a wrap.
And he
That's a
he
wrap.
hates Philly fans.
Most people do.
You know who loves Philly?
Who?
Tony Romo, I think. He loves Philly fans. And Tom Brady was saying that, and like Aaron Rodgers and Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, they were all saying like, when you go to Philly, you just have to expect to get cursed out by like a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? In the stands. Like,
It's so funny because 9-year-olds will legit do that, and they know who you are. They know what you look like. You're gonna get the finger. You're gonna know when you're there.
Yeah.
You're not shit.
But no, the rest of the games went pretty well. The Colts are looking good. Yeah, they beat up on the fucking Texans, but
They've been looking good for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I think the Colts are a sleeper team. I really do.
Didn't you say that like week 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the Colts are really the Colts. I told everybody I was like the Colts are probably we're going to trade Wentz to the Colts, and they're going to be good. Colts got Wentz.
It's so
Colts
fun.
are good.
You've been defending Wentz for years now, and you've only became right about how. Well, it's because he leaves, he balls out. He's a bit of his first
His first like 4 games, he was struggling. Yeah, he was struggling a little bit.
And then you see week 5, 6, and then 7. 7 is when you really start seeing the blossom.
Where he
was 350 yards
against the Ravens, right?
Yeah,
That game is where he went into that second gear when he was like in that game. They lost the game due to the defense mostly. Yeah, he had a couple of bad drives. Yeah, you're not going to score every time you touch the football. It's just most of the time not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. But he played really good. He looked fantastic in the pocket. Yeah. Because the only thing is like I see a lot about him. Cause it's like I still love him. He was on the Eagles, and you always talk so highly of him. So it's one of the I watched the highlights.
I like Wentz.
Damn.
I like Wentz,
especially off his back foot.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna say this. If and when, pretty much when the Eagles get eliminated from playoff contention. And they don't make the playoffs. And if the Colts make the playoffs, I will be rooting for the Colts. I'm not saying everyone like let's go.
I understand,
but I would like to see them. They would be my team. I would like to see go deep into the playoffs.
You don't want the Bucks?
Fuck no, not even close. But no, the rest of the games were pretty good. Like I said, the Patriots won their 7th or 8th straight. The Chargers beat up on the Bengals. Joe Burrow.
Oh, Joe Burrow. Yeah, I got injured.
Did you see his pinky?
I did not see
his
pinky.
His pinky was like the size of like his thumb. It was disgusting. It was gross. It was all swollen up.
Be like that, I guess.
But yeah, the rest of the games went pretty well. The Chiefs, they won like 22-9, but they don't look good, dude.
I didn't see that. I really saw most of them on Sunday, but
they don't look good at all. Like it was the night game.
It's what? Is Andy Reid, right? Yeah.
It's really just like I don't know what it is. Whether it's the coaching, whether it's the players themselves, they just don't look good, like at all. Like they won, they're winning games, but it's like whatever. The worst game of the fucking week was the 49ers Seahawks. Talk about this battle of 2 shitty teams. Talk about the turnover.
I didn't think the Seahawks were gonna be that bad.
Dude, they're like they just won. So
their last 5 games,
they're 1-4.
Rough.
In the last 5, they're 1-4.
Rough.
I think. They're awful. They both Jimmy Garoppolo and Russell Wilson had like 2 or 3 picks each. Fumbles left, right, and center. Yeah, they scored. Like each team scored a decent amount of points, but at the same time, it's like it was just like, yeah, you drive 40 yards, fumble. You drive 20 yards, throw a pick. You do this like every time you do something good, you do something bad. Do something good, do something bad. Do something good, do something bad. And that's just how it went. But yeah. Or no, wait. I don't think the Patriots played yesterday. Did they play tonight?
It's Monday night.
I don't know. I don't remember. But I saw the only reason I thought that they won was because I didn't watch their game, but I saw a stat line where they won their last 7. So maybe they play tonight.
Yeah.
I forget.
Who do they play tonight?
Probably the Bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, they play so they're playing tonight.
So that would be their
8th straight. Yeah.
Because you said 8, I was like.
Yeah, it sounded it like threw me off because I saw like the thing.
Well, because we were together yesterday doing the coffee talk, and I didn't get to catch most of it.
Yeah.
So okay.
But yeah, like I said last week, you look at all these teams, and it's just basically like Your top teams in the NFL are your teams that have been pretty much top 5 in that range, top 8 all year. Like I said, I think the Colts are a sleeper team. I think the Bengals and the Browns are at the same spot, like right in like the power rankings, but the Bengals are going up, whereas the Browns are coming down. So right now they're almost even, but they're switching sides. Buddy. So I think
I had high hopes for him in the beginning of the season.
A lot of people did.
Well, see, you called it. I didn't believe you because you were like, "Dude, they're a fake team," and I was like, "I don't know, bro. They're what, like 2-0 or whatever."
I called every fake team.
You did, no, you did. But I was like, "No, bro. They're 2-0, they're 3-0. Like we're gonna see something big from them." And I think they went 1-2, and then lost their third. No, lost one, right?
Something like that. I know they lost like week 2
and you're like
to
Matthew,
the
and I was like, shit.
Yeah. Well, I knew they weren't going to be. They weren't going to be great.
I had high hopes for them because they've been rebuilding for the past like 6 years.
Well, the whole thing about it is they had a powerhouse team. They had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb as their 1 and 2.
That's right. Yeah, Nick Chubb,
running backs. And then that was the 1-2 punch. And then they had Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry with Austin Hooper and Donovan Peoples Jones and something. I forget the other guy's name. Another like wide receiver, tight end. They had a good team, but then Kareem Hunt gets hurt. He comes back. Nick Chubb gets hurt. He comes back. Odell's out for the season with an ACL. Then this, and then this, and then Landry's hurt. So it was like. Every time you turn on the game, you see your game, it's like one person gets hurt, another person gets hurt, another person gets hurt. So I just was like, they're not going to really have enough time to do anything with these guys. So it was what it was. I knew the Broncos and the Broncos and I knew the Broncos weren't going to be a good team. And they were like, well, and the Panthers, they're like, we're 3-0, and I'm like, watch, you're gonna get shit on. And then sure enough, they lost like 5 straight. So
yeah, well, everyone had high hopes for them too. People were betting the crap out of them for a while.
Yeah,
and they were just shitting the bed.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. I think the NFL, like I said before, I think like you got these teams that could be good, and a lot of teams have a lot of potential, like the Bengals, but they don't always follow through. I think the Bengals in the next like 2 or 3 years, if they keep adding key pieces.
Well, you were hyped for them in week 4.
Yeah,
you were really hyped for them in week 4.
I think they're gonna be really good. I mean, the Bengals haven't been good in my lifetime, and I'm 23. So
damn.
Yeah.
Well, you never really hear much about them too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's nothing to say. Their last good wide receiver was AJ Green. And then before him was TJ Hushmanzada. Their career lifelong like best quarterback of all time was Carson Palmer.
When was that?
Their best running back is maybe Joe Mixon, but before him was Giovanni Bernard. Like they really didn't have anything special going on. It was what it was. But now they have an actual pretty solid team. They have a stud quarterback.
That's facts.
Stud running back. Fucking, you're telling me they have Jamar Chase.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver to come out of the draft this season.
You think so?
Oh, it's not even fucking close. You kidding me? Come on.
I know it was better.
Who?
I don't know. I can only think of anybody off the top of my head.
But yeah,
some bullshit response.
Yeah. But no, like the Browns should be a better team. They have Myles Garrett. They have a good a solid defense. They have Denzel Ward. Just doesn't really click all the time. So I don't know. I personally still don't believe in 100% in the hype behind the Cardinals. I don't think everyone's like the Cardinals are going to be. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. This, that, and a third. My whole thing is
they do have Ertz now though.
Well, yeah, Ertz is balling out for them too. My whole thing is I don't think the Cardinals are good enough right now to actually beat a prepared and healthy Buccaneers team. No. I don't think Cardinals are really good enough to beat. I don't know
especially
if they're good
after week 8. I don't think so either.
No, I don't know if they're good enough to beat a healthy a healthy Aaron Rodgers Packers team. I don't know if they're good enough to beat the Rams.
You don't think we can beat Rodgers?
I don't know.
I think they could do it.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, I mean, as long as they don't give him enough time at the end.
That's the
give him the ball in the last. Like,
I think Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know.
I think like Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of shit for not winning as much as he should, like going in deeper in the playoffs.
I would agree. I could see what you're talking about. Yeah.
So like, but
I think they could do it though.
The Packers haven't built around him either. What did they give him in the last? You know what I mean? They gave him Devontae Adams like 6 or 5 years ago. And then,
was that long ago?
Or maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But then what? They gave him Devontae Adams, and then they forgot about him. He literally had to beg, or like put his foot down and was like, "I need Randall Cobb." Went out and got Randall Cobb again. Doesn't have a real solid running game. His last sturdy running back was what? Eddie Lacy, Ryan Grant.
I guess you're right. Holy shit.
They got rid of. They fucking traded away his old superstar connection with Jordy Nelson. That was like fucking Brady to Moss. And they fucking just traded him away.
Oh, I didn't even know
Traded him to the Raiders a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He had
Ryan was raving about that. Yeah.
You know, like they back in 2010 when they won the Super Bowl, they had a pretty solid team. They had Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, I believe I don't know if he was on that team or not. Ryan Grant. Clay Matthews on defense, Donatari Poe on defense. Like their team was solid, and then they never. Once Greg Jennings retired, they didn't replace him. They didn't get Devontae Adams until recently. Fairly recently. And then, you can't look at the Texans when they had DeAndre Hopkins.
Texans are rough right now.
You can't win a fucking Super Bowl with one all-star wide receiver and no one else.
Literally no one else. They have been going through it.
Yeah,
through it.
But yeah, the Texans are bullshit franchise. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there in Texas. I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Whether he's going to be convicted of sexual crimes or not, whether he's going to come back to the NFL or not.
What?
You don't know. That's why he's not playing.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah, this offseason he was convicted of 7. I don't know if it was rape allegations or sexual assault on some facet or sexual harassment or something.
See, here's the thing that I don't understand with that. The hot topic, but. I feel like with these guys, the amount of money they have, right?
Yeah.
They're not bad-looking dudes, okay?
Okay.
Why do they have so many allegations? I feel like there's plenty of women.
Well, it's the same reason that, I don't know, it's probably a couple things. One, you see a girl at a club, you're like, I'm fucking, Deshaun Watson. I'm going to fuck you tonight. I don't want to fuck you, Deshaun. Well, guess what? We're going to fuck. Or two, it's, oh, you want to have sex? Okay, cool. Let's have sex. We have sex, and then that chick lies and says, he raped me. So it's a bunch of different factors that go into these kind of things. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anything. I just know that he's not playing, and they're not going to trade him.
Fucking bullshit.
And they're not going to trade him. So I don't know what's going on with that.
I wouldn't trade him either.
Well, I mean, I would.
Why?
Why would I pay him?
Fair enough.
To sit there.
Oh, I guess if you're going to sit there, yeah. But if he's also sitting there because of allegations,
well, yeah.
I feel that's not fair to just trade him away.
Yeah, but I mean, what else? What are you going to do? Give him a contract for 6 years, $200 million, for him to go 4-12 every year?
I see your point.
You know what I mean? I'd rather trade him, get either draft picks and a couple decent key pieces that I need, and then try my luck in the draft to get a decent quarterback, a decent wide receiver, and a couple decent defensive pieces, and slowly put that team together over the course of 5-10 years. That would be my goal. That would be my objective. Because right now, the Texans are fucking horrible. They're almost as bad as the Lions.
They're really bad.
The Lions and the Texans.
The last 4 weeks.
The Lions just won their first game of the season.
No, I'm not talking about the Lions. I'm talking about the Texans. But the Lions, they just won against...
they beat the Vikings yesterday. 29-27.
I remember them 5 or 6 years ago, the Vikings were pretty good.
The Vikings were decent.
Yeah.
The Vikings, 2017, they went to the NFC Championship game with us. And then we beat them 34-7.
Sometimes it has to happen.
Skull my ass.
Hey.
They came to the fucking. They put skull helmets, the Viking helmets and the Viking jerseys and shit on Rocky.
Wait, really?
2017, they came.
Really? I didn't know 100
people.
You knew that? I didn't know
People
that.
that came and they were standing in front of the Rocky statue, had Vikings like scarves on them, and they were like, "We're gonna beat Philly," and then they got fucked. They scored the first touchdown of the game. They went up 7-0, and then they did not score again for the next like 3 hours of the game, 2.5 hours of the game.
Sometimes you just got to put it in the mouth and leave it there.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the NFL. I mean, like I said, the only other thing I was going to say was the Lions won their first game of the season against the Vikings. So, Vikings fans, you are a disgrace. Vikings team, how do you lose to an 0-9 football team, or whatever?
Yikes! Be their only win, and might only still be their only win the entire season.
Yeah, you lose to a team with Jared Goff as their quarterback.
Yikes!
Yeah. I mean, but the Lions, albeit, don't have awful players besides like Jared Goff, like Tyler or T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah,
they don't have that player
except for Jared Goff. T.J. Hawkinson, not a bad tight end.
No, not a bad tight end at all.
DeAndre Swift, not a bad running back. You know what I mean? It is what it is. They're just not a good football team. Don't have anybody.
Well, officially they're not they have a win now.
They officially have a win.
Go for you guys. You're what, 1-9, 1-8,
1-9,
1-9.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a record.
It's better than 0-10.
You know what? When you're sitting around that Christmas table or Hanukkah table, you're like, hey, you know what, Mom? I did it. I have a win under my belt.
1-9.
1-9. You don't listen. Just one. Don't worry about it.
1-9 is better than 0-10, but it's it's not good at all. So,
Mom, I have this new son, Owen. Owen what? Owen 10.
That's awful. But yeah, so some other major stuff going on, like in other sports, would be like in the NBA, the Sixers are kind of shitting the bed.
I feel like that happens every year.
No, the Sixers have been really good for the last like 4 years.
See, I don't follow NBA as much, but I'll always hear something like, "Oh, God damn, how the
fuck
do we lose?"
The problem is, the Sixers are always good in the past like 4 years. The Sixers were really, really good in the regular season, right? Like, really good. Then we go to the playoffs, and in the case of 2017, we can't beat the Celtics in the playoffs. Okay. Then 2018 comes around. Once again, can't beat the Celtics. Okay. So then 2019 comes around, and we beat the Celtics. Yeah. And then we beat the Bucks, I think. Yeah. And then Game 7 or Game 5, whatever it was. Last game of the series, up by 1. In Toronto, Kawhi Leonard gets the ball, drives to the wing, fading away, a shot over Joel Embiid, rattles around the rim, and somehow falls for the walk-off victory to send us home. So they went on, and they went on to win the championship against the Warriors. That hurt so bad.
I didn't watch
the game. It hurt so bad, dude.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Dude, it was so bad because the ball literally was like if this is the rim, the ball went like boom, 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 boom. Like it was falling out, and then it just fuck it.
Well, you know what's funny? It wasn't until 2017. No, 2010, right? With the Phillies, there was a whole like the whole curse of Philly, right? So you know the Benjamin Franklin building, right?
Yeah.
So it's Ben Franklin on top of the building.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's not Ben Franklin.
William Penn. Oh my God! I'm
09 you're thinking.
It was 09?
That's when they won the series, isn't it?
No, so the Phillies won the World Series in 2008. We went to the World Series again in 2000. We went to the World Series again in 2009. We lost to the Yankees. Then we went to the NLCS again 2010. Lost to the the Giants, or the Cardinals or Giants. Then we went again in 2011 to the NLDS, and then we lost to the Cardinals. And then we lost to the Cardinals, and then 2012 was the last time we made the playoffs. We made the wild card, and I think we lost to like the Giants or the Cardinals or somebody. That was like pretty much the end of Ryan Howard's career when he grounded out the first base or second base and tore his Achilles to end the season. So yeah,
I'll have to remember that. Now I feel like an idiot now. William Penn.
Yeah, fucking moron.
But anyways, what I was saying is so you have the he's on top of the building, right? And there was a whole thing where he says there will not be any building taller than I, right? So the whole thing is like if you have a building taller than him, there'll be a curse on all like sports and stuff like that. There's this whole like tale or whatever you want to call it. And then we started building and building and building. And we didn't win until 2008. And then the Phillies, quote unquote, broke the curse. And then 2017, Eagles won the Super Bowl. What?
I'll let you finish.
But yeah, that's really that's it. What were you saying?
Before the Phillies won, the Comcast building, which was at the time the largest building in Philadelphia, when they got to the World Series, they put a 1-foot statue of William Penn on top of their building.
Oh.
The curse, and then they won.
Nice.
Interesting.
There is a taller
So for those of you guys who couldn't hear him or sort of could hear him, well, we're gonna get him a producer mic soon. Comcast had the tallest building, therefore in Philly, right? So then they put a 1-inch, a 1-foot statue of William Penn. Yeah.
On top, so he's technically still taller. But yeah, I don't know. Well, the last time any Philly team won anything, so what was it? 2008 was the year that we broke the curse. Yes, I'm aware. Oh. Thank you.
Did you ever watch the MLB?
Nope. So the 2008 was the year that we broke the curse. Before that, the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl was 2004 against the Patriots. The last time the other Philly team to go to a championship game was the 2000-2001 Sixers team, who lost to the Lakers in 5 games. And then before that, I believe, was when the Phillies went to the World Series in 1981, lost to the Blue Jays, and then prior to that, 1980.
How do you remember that?
In 1980. Or no, was it? No, I'm lying to you. 1981. It was 1990.
I didn't know
1990.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, because we lost to the Blue Jays on the Joe Carter will walk off home run. Remember that? Okay, you ever hear the song Back to Back?
Yes.
Okay, you ever see the title, like the album cover, or the song cover?
No.
Well, it's Joe Carter doing this.
Oh shit!
That's that was the Blue Jays. He won the World Series for the Blue Jays, and they went back-to-back seasons. They won the World Series.
You know that? Oh, okay, maybe he did know that. Okay.
It was awful. Yeah, but then the last time we won anything was 1980, I believe.
Yeah. I always thought it was interesting. I remember when I first learned that whole like curse thing. I was like, no way. And then I like realized when I went to Philly, I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I was like, that's it. That's the curse. I'm not a loser, I promise.
All
All right.
How would you know about the curse if you don't watch sports?
Well, I watch enough sports now, but I always knew about the curse. It was one of those things where it's like when you went, like, because I didn't watch a lot of sports, like my sophomore year of high school, junior year of high school, but like you always heard about it. Oh, you know what it was? I think it was my grandmother. I was like 12 or something like that.
Yeah. And
she was like, you guys see that over there? I can't do like an Italian grandma old person voice, but yeah, she was like, you guys ever hear of the curse? And then it was before 2008. It had to have been because, or it might have been after, whatever it was. But she's like, yeah, this is the whole thing. And I remember looking at it, and then I remember when we won, everyone in school was like, we broke the curse, and I was like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, what are you looking at me like?
I'm calling Cap.
What do you mean you're calling Cap? No, because that's when I learned it.
I doubt it.
No, because everyone's like, we broke the curse.
I highly doubt.
And I was like, what do you mean we broke the curse?
So you heard it in school. So what you're telling me is a bunch of third graders were like, we broke the curse.
Well, that's all you heard.
No,
or yes, everyone was like, yes, that's exactly how I learned it.
No, I doubt it.
Because she was like,
no, it's cool.
I'm telling you,
okay,
that's
fine.
exactly
I'm
how
just telling you,
I
I don't believe you.
You don't have to believe me.
I'm not saying
that's
I have to.
Exactly what happened. I don't. Because I didn't learn that until that point.
Please stop hitting the table.
Oh, you hit the table earlier.
I'm aware.
I'm not touching the table.
Okay.
All right.
You're lying to me, though.
I'm not. I'm literally not lying to you. That is exactly how I learned it.
Okay.
And to this day, that is exactly how I remember it. Okay. Of the 2008 breaking the curse.
Okay.
And then we went in 2017 for the Super Bowl. I just know I'm right.
You're not.
I am 100% right.
No.
Yep. Want to bet?
Yes.
All right.
I guarantee you a bunch of third graders.
Listen.
One. I guarantee you a bunch of third graders didn't watch the World Series, and I guarantee you a bunch of third graders also had no idea about a curse regarding baseball.
No, but because literally they were saying at the end of the game too.
Who?
Announcers, the whole everyone,
who?
and these are dude all over. Well, I guess there really wasn't social media back then, but that is how I learned what the curse was when we won the World Series.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that is.
Who was the announcer of the Phillies back then?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay. You don't know who made the announcing call to when we won?
All I remember is they all just like rushed the mound.
You don't remember who threw the last pitch?
Oh, no, Ali, fuck, no, I don't remember at all. No.
Okay, so let me break down what I remember.
Okay. You're what, like 9?
No, I was in 5th grade. So I was like 11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
So that was like 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I remember the fuck out of that. I'm telling you, I remember.
Okay, how did the game end?
I don't remember the game.
Oh, okay.
I remember them rushing the mound, and I remember them winning. And I remember
I'll tell you how the game ended.
And we all got like little like Phillies cups. We're like, yeah.
I'll tell you how the game ended. Brad Lidge completed his perfect season with not blowing one save, struck out Eric Hinsky on a low and away changeup or slider. Then he dropped to his knees, and Carlos Ruiz charged the mound first. Then he gets tackled from the side by Ryan Howard and then the rest of the team. Shane Victorino jumps on in the end. You know, the whole shot.
I remember that.
Harry Callis was the main announcer who said, struck him out, the Philly, world champion of baseball. And then his secondary announcer, who's also in the booth, was Chris Wheeler, also known as Wheels. I remember the parade. I remember the coverage, covering it. Mm-hmm. I watched that broadcast that night up until it literally ended and went to something else. Not once did I ever remember hearing we broke the curse.
I'm telling you.
And then furthermore,
that is exactly where I learned what the curse was. Okay. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Because otherwise I never would have known about it.
Okay.
My grandmother she was like, oh yeah, nobody be as tall as this. I didn't really think much of it. And everyone I'm telling you.
Okay.
When that happened, I was like, yeah, we broke the curse. Like that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And then we go to win the Super Bowl. I hit the table again. My bad. But then we go to win the Super Bowl in 17.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you remember that game?
I remember watching it, but I don't remember anything from it. Oh my fucking god! In 2017,
you don't remember the?
In 2017, I barely watched football.
Are you telling me you don't remember the Philly special?
We have we were. I was coaching football like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and the Phoenixville ran in on us.
Yeah, it's a good play.
Yeah. Yeah, all I heard was one of the coach's kids, Trey, she was like, did they just run the Philly special on us? And I was like, I didn't even see what was going on. And then I just see them run for a touch, and I was like, we got played. And the coach was like, did they just run the Philly special? I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Wow. I've had enough of you.
Have you? Dude, back in 2017, I wanted nothing to do with football.
It's ridiculous.
It wasn't until 2019 that I was like, maybe I'll get back into it.
It's ridiculous.
I hated watching football because every Sunday or during the week, Brew Baker would be like, "Did you guys watch enough film?" And I'd be like, "Yes." Mm-hmm. And then on Sundays we'd have film like later that night. I wanted to watch no football during the day, and then to go get yelled at as a high school kid by your coach and told that you suck at life. So
I had to do the same thing for baseball.
I understand. I had no desire, at all.
I understand. You're just a bitch. Anyway.
Yo! Hot take.
Right. Well, that's all I got for sports this week.
That's all I got, too.
All right. Since you want to close us out?
Sure. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.